Now, in the past half an hour, the King has issued a statement about his brother, the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, following the news of his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and he is currently in custody. Police say they are carrying out searches of addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk, and we don't know the specifics of the arrest. It is linked to claims about documents from Andrew's time as the UK trade envoy. That was around 2010, and allegations that documents were passed to his friend, the notorious paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So the statement from the King we have says, "I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is the full, fair and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation." And he goes on to say, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." That is big, Mariella, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented. It's a terrible day for the royal family. I think it's been like 350 years since a member or someone closely connected to them was arrested, unless you count Princess Anne and the speeding tickets and the dog biting.
Well, I don't think we should be putting these into the same category.
Obviously not on a par with. But I think it's probably a really good day for the potential of justice, because I think a lot of people in this country...
I'm just going to say at this moment, no charges have been brought. I know, but we just have to be careful. It's a very sensitive
I think a lot of people in the UK have watched, you know, what's happened with Peter Mandelson and with Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, and wondered why these seemingly entitled, privileged grifters have been allowed to carry on making deals and using their influence in a way that I think is incredibly distasteful and brings the UK government into public disrepute. I mean, both of them were appointed during the period of the Blair government, and I'm sure he must regret making those choices. But I think that it's really important to restore public faith in you know, politicians and people who get appointed into public positions.
Well, yeah, I guess, and I guess that is what King Charles is trying to do in terms of the royal family, and I guess what Keir Starmer is trying to do in terms of, you know, this being moved on. I mean, it's a different story from what's happening in America, Nadia, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And I watch a lot of American news channels and independent news channels, and any time anything has come up where there seems to be any kind of investigation, they are fascinated by it, and they're saying, look to the UK. There is just almost nothing comparable going on in
You mean
America.
because people are being held to account?
Yeah, well, you know, just to investigate. There's so much that's never even been investigated. So, in a way, they say, you know, we are holding a mirror up to America. And many other countries, actually, are doing their investigations.
Yeah. You could also say this is quite late in the day, though, couldn't you?
Well, I don't know. They said that they've had 9 sets of police officers who've been looking at this, and this is the first time it's come to any kind of fruition. But if you look, I mean, look, it's his 66th birthday today, which feels quite uncanny as well.
It feels quite personal, doesn't it?
And also, you think about what's going on in that household. We have grown up with the royal family and their commitment to never complain and never explain. And here we have a full A4 page of an explanation to a degree from our king. And I just think that this sort of weaponised privilege for so long, to be so evasive, to not have to give an answer, to be able to give interviews that just don't seem to land, finally, we're getting to what feels like something.
And I think the royal family, through, you know, King Charles and also Queen Camilla and William, are very much trying to put themselves on the side of the victims. Whatever you think of that, they are trying to put themselves on the side of the victims. And we're going to have to be really careful here, of course. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor denies all wrongdoing, and we have to be clear, no charges have been brought in this case. But as you say, Mariella, it's very difficult for people not to mix up all these things. But I think just to remember, and somebody said this to me just before we came on, actually, so it was their point, not mine. If we go back to Virginia Giuffre, which is, of course, a central figure in Epstein's alleged wrongdoings, you know, she had been trying to bring this to public attention for 10 years.
And her family have just issued
and then took her own
today.
life just last April. And, you know, it's
That's
really
why I'm
always
saying
coming back to
all of this
that.
feels quite late. It feels like suddenly now it's being taken as seriously as it should have been a long time ago, you know, and in which case a lot of the victims would not have been put through the endless suffering, the disbelief, the discomfort that they were put through.
That continues on and on.
Yeah.
What Virginia, did you say, Chris?
Yeah, so Virginia's family have actually come forward and they've made a statement that they are relieved.
I am looking for a copy of that statement, but I do not have it in front of me.
Well, you know,
Do you have
just
it in front
something
of you?
else while you're looking for it. Just, Kay, there, when you were reading the link in and to hear that Andrew is now in custody. That's like a huge sentence, isn't it? And, you know, we've got very busy backstage here, makeup around the back, and everyone is talking about the actual reality of that he is now, you know, is it like 24 hours police custody? Is he in a cell? Is he going to be... To imagine to put tea out of a plastic cup, all these things are so... The idea of it is so shocking. Does he get preferential treatment? Will police officers be deferential to him? Will they be overly polite? This is the and imagine also all the family will be thinking that as well. To have a member of your family taken in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, it's huge.
to the real world.
Yeah,
Andrew
exactly.
Mountbatten-Windsor, I think. And, you know, talking about that statement you mentioned there from Virginia Giuffre's family, Mylene, it is, at last, today our broken hearts have been lifted with the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty. He was never a prince. For survivors everywhere, Virginia did this for you. That actually puts hairs on the back of your neck, doesn't it? Because this is a woman who took her own life last year after 10 years of trying to sort of raise the alarm about Epstein and the activities there.